everybody. How are we doing? Oh, shit. I'm always doing the wrong microphone. How are we today? And yes, it is this game. I've actually, A, never played it, and B, have never actually seen anybody play it. So this is one that's been on my wish list for a long time. And they remastered it recently, so wanted to give it a shot, see how it goes. Like I said, I understand that it's kind of like meta. I was about to say you sounded quick, but then you fixed it. Yeah. Oh, good. So maybe you can help me as I go along, but I'm not sure whether I actually need help or not. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that much about it. And I do warn you, I am very, very tired. So if I start to yawn during the stream, feel free to turn away. Boo Bear is here somewhere. There she is. Hi, baby. All right. So, hi. You've already been out. You've already pooped. You've peed. You've eaten. Life is good for the Boo Bear. All right. Should we go over to the game? Because I want to. I'm not gonna stream for very long tonight because I want to edit the. Watch Markiplier play some of it. I want to edit the podcast tonight and watch Monday Night Raw. So, hi. What can I do for you? Lay down. Lay down. We'll do something. We'll do something, even if it's wrong. So let's go to the game. All right, so it's asking me if I have played the Stanley Parable before, and the answer may surprise you. It is no. I have not played it before. So hopefully it shows me. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. That's fine. Please enter the current time. What time is it? 6:50. Oh, maybe it's 6:50, right? Confirm. Accessibility settings can be okay. Got it. All right, so we've got a little Inception action going on here already. So let's go to the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although
no vacations
others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
I am not made for that job.
Was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This
it's like COVID.
Isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so I can move around. All right, well, I need my moving around keyboard. See, I don't even know that... I didn't even know I could move. I gotta adjust the... Back the hour to 5. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where's the meeting? Where do you suppose the meeting room is? So I guess I gotta just walk around the building and figure out what's going on, huh? Or what the lay of the land is. Meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. I'm guessing there's no turning back. And I'm guessing if I would have gotten to the right, something would have happened. All right.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with... Let it ball up inside you. Take it out, passive aggression. Using slides to assure employees are everything okay. Make sure it's our slick blue graphic. Ensure calm work environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. What do these say? I'm interested in what this says. Number of slides on this slide. Rate at which the charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase of graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. Stop. Boss appreciation. Top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill it in triplicate and return to your boss appreciation specialist. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, you're inclined towards conflict. Why did we hire you? Remember, dreams about your future. Less air, clear skin, pollution. Talk less, do an unbelievable, amazing thing. Don't get fired. Tips to not getting fired. Don't get fired. Telephone directory. What do people want? Things, money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things and money. We need less reviews. Want to get rid of death sport portion in the primary review schedule. There's a death sport portion. I think it's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in the teenage demographic. It's sort of a child trap. Space between the teenagers. Throw something in the idea bin. Okay. Oh, there's something written on the back of this. Better safe than profit. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. Monetize free to play. Okay. I get the gist. This is the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
All right. He said up to the boss's
Coming to a
office.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
All right. Boss must be on the top floor. Well, of course he is. Wow. This is a much nicer office. Executive bathroom? Wow, that's nice. Because the boss knows what the boss says goes, if the boss suffers losses, then that's what the boss chose. All right, so is this the boss's office?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So what if I don't do that? I feel like I need to walk around and explore a bit. Is there anything I can interact with? And it sounds like I'm hitting keys when I'm trying to interact with something. Almost as if this isn't real. What the hell? Okay, guess I'm going downstairs. Very mysterious.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I mean, what if I go this way?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay, we're going back. Well, what happens? Or is the hall never ending?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Did I die?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his
Oh,
demise,
dear.
He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Am I gonna get crunched? I sure am.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
There's a
In a
second.
single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I don't feel dead.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay, this is a little existential. So this is a map of the... This is a map of the office I was just in. What is all this? Nature paintings. Stanley's computer. It's like Monsters, Inc. I can't even interact with that. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game for buttons pressed. Each one has a mix of keyboard strokes and... I don't know. Did I just jump right to the end of the game? I mean, I died. I mean, I gotta figure he said it would only be a couple of moments before I'm back in my office. What's this?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
Me and the...
How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone...
And hit quit. Okay. So basically I was stuck in a forever loop and I had to...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
All right. So I'm starting back up at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think it's going to be fun.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You know what I'm going to do.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, this is a nice employee lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Over here? All right.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Well, what happens if I go downstairs?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Left. Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh, okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
I'm holding.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay. Yes.
Up, up, down,
I've
down,
got it
left,
now.
right.
This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Is it? Seems like I'm going down further into...
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
All right.
mean?
Probably
Stanley
should
decided
start
to go to the
following
meeting room.
instructions.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait,
this
what?
wasn't...
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted
No,
the
this
game
is...
over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Yes.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
I didn't.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you?
Yeah.
I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah, you're the
It was
narrator.
right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
All right. I'm going to go back to the left door because that's where it was. Oh. Does this wrap around? Okay, so that comes... So maybe these all go to the same place? Oh. It's freaking maze.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
All right, so we're starting over again. Let me check. Do I need to... All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right. And...
Okay, yep, it's worse.
There are
I
no
might be
doors.
remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
All right. Coffee. Oh, there's a ladder. Do we miss something? You'll be surprised to know that this is kind of an impossible office.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
Wait.
The story. Here it comes.
This was
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
all right. Let's do that. Let's see how it goes. Well, this is no good.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
What is
this
this?
the story?
I don't know.
think so.
You tell me.
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yes,
Do you remember, Stanley?
it was in an
Well,
office
do you
building.
know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
I really fucked it up.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
There's no door
I
here
don't care
anymore.
what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Here we go. Restarting again. Stanley.
All right, I've got a solution.
All right.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
How come I have a feeling that it's not going to take me where I need to
You
go?
see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought.
Oh.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
That's right.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being
I'm just
via
gonna
the very
follow this.
manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
All right. This line doesn't seem to be taking me anywhere. I don't think the music helps. It's just extremely loud.
Wait, cut the music. Go back.
Thank you.
And look at that fern.
What fern? This fern?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Will it?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
All right. So. All right. I've studied it. It just looks like a fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Yes.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh.
No, not again.
I'm back
Line,
here.
How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Let me guess. We're starting
No,
over.
I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
All right.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
It has not
We're
done
intelligent
much.
people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Well,
Something
that's-
exciting, daring, mysterious.
Yes.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
All right. I'm up for it.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Yes.
Just me and Stanley
Beige
forging a
hallway.
new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your
We're
imagination.
literally
Whatever
going
it
in a
might be,
circle.
Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh no, not you again.
Oh, it's the line again.
Stanley.
Broke
I'd
through.
also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. And we should be
It.
fine.
It TM. That's too funny. Wait. All right. It went back up into the ceiling, so it's gone again.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
All right.
From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. Which
That's
means
generally
that
how
somewhere, the
doors
place
work.
where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right...
Hey,
let's ask,
Destroyer,
will
how are
taking
you?
The right door lead us to where we're going.
Well, which
Since
one?
the answer is
I'm just
clearly
walking
yes,
in
then
circles.
by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny.
Door on the right.
awaits.
It's a circle. Confusion ending. You've been playing the
Hold on,
confusion
what's
ending.
this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
After a long time, Stanley dies?
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank.
Fifth restart.
Because it's written here
Yes.
on this thing, wall.
I am doing well,
who consulted me?
but I am
Why don't
confused.
get to
I will
decide?
readily admit there.
Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
We've got a ton of...
I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
So what are we doing?
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Oh.
The, whatever it is that made
Did I
this
do this on
schedule?
purpose?
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
Were there always
We'll
two
find
doors
out,
back
won't
there?
we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
Seriously? Narrator, where are you at?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I did deliberately not follow
When
directions.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right. Well, this is promising. This looks normal.
Yet
Yes.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to
All
go
right.
up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs.
So
to
did
his
I
boss's
really
office.
restart? Like everything is actually restarted now? That's the executive washroom. Nice.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was
I am
once
back
again
to
stunned
where
to
I was.
discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
I don't...
But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Oh.
What could its purpose be?
This narration's a little
In
different than
fact,
the last time.
This keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
All right, so,
Stanley happened to
Should
input the
I
correct
follow
code.
the directions now?
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I know you're going to say yes. I should follow the directions.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep, just going to go. Not going to go into the escape room again. That didn't work out well the last time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Wasn't I
Stanley
here
thought to
before?
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
So this is the big... This is the big Cerebro, or whatever they call it in X-Men.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
So
And
everybody's
Stanley,
gone.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I'm what? 427? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Well,
Had
it can
Stanley
be.
really been under someone's control all this time?
Well, of
was
course.
this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, probably.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
I feel like
His
I was
own
already up
life
here.
In someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
Even though I
Was
am
it
in
even
someone else's
possible?
control.
Had
I'm
he
the
truly
narrator.
spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Mind control status.
Happy,
Offline,
or
offline.
sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Well.
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Can I just hit buttons randomly? I'm guessing I have to go into the power room? Oh, wait. What's this big button? Ah! No. Console disabled. I'm looking for something that would obviously point me to push this big button. I got stuck in a loop earlier. So you've clearly played this before.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Please don't restart the game. Please don't restart the game. Please don't restart the game. I don't want it to restart the game.
And a rising chill of uncertainty.
Well,
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did
Have I already- did I win?
hold? But as
I feel like I
sunlight
won.
streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
I feel like
All
I
it
have
was not knowledge or even
moved
power that
on to
he
the
had
next
been
phase.
seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do.
Could this
or
take
how to
longer?
feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
this is not going to work out well for me.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of
What
liberation.
what terrible thing is ahead of
immense
me?
possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So that was the end?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
So if you do
Perhaps he
follow
had
the-
simply missed a memo.
I didn't think it was going to work out for me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So if you follow his directions, It just takes you to the fast ending, right? That wasn't the end. I got an achievement that said I completed the Stanley Parable.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I think Michigan's going to win. Much to my dismay as an Ohio State fan. Michigan's just too good. I'm just going to stay in here. Till he responds to something. I wonder how long it'll be before he says something to me. I can wait you out. All right. All right. Should I...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What if I go downstairs?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Zulu.
maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
I am doing well, Zulu. How are you? I saw your note saying you're back home. Congratulations. You glad to be back?
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
life is but a dream.
Felt to have
if I could
found
take you up to paradise up above.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, geez, I'm floating.
Himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
2 hours.
And then perhaps the strangest
bed with hot
question of them all
chocolate.
entered
Awesome.
Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's
Traveling's the
describing
worst.
my
I
thoughts.
gotta go to Singapore next week.
And while he
I'm not
thought
looking
all
forward
very
to it
odd, and
for
wondered if
3
this
weeks.
voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for
Cleveland to
certain beyond
Singapore,
a
you're in the
doubt that
air
this was,
for,
in fact, a
depending on the
dream.
wind,
Did the voice not seem
22 to
float and make the
24
magical
hours.
stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That this
And he has
was
an
a
inner
dream.
monologue.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
Yeah, I think I go Cleveland to
fresh
San
air of the
Francisco, San
world
Francisco
outside this
to
Let me wake
Singapore.
up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all
It's
I
like
want.
it's like 5.5
I want
hours
my
from
apartment
Cleveland
and my
to
wife and my
San
job.
Fran, and then
All
like
I
16 and a
want
half
is my
hours from
life
San Fran
exactly
to
the way it's always been.
Singapore.
My life is normal.
Yeah, it always is.
I
I go
know.
to Singapore pretty regularly.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh shit. No.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
How do I stay entertained? With great difficulty. I usually take the best thing I ever.
Story of a woman named Mariella.
Wait, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of
One of the
honor.
best things that
But
I
on this
ever bought for
particular
myself
day,
was my
her
Nintendo
walk
Switch.
was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Oh no!
Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Oh no.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Because she's
Then
not
she
dead?
remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only
Yeah,
a
they
moment
typically
that
have
she
Wi-Fi
stood
on the
there,
international
staring
flights, but it's
down
not
at the
very
body.
good. It's not
And then she turned to the
reliable.
man.
But it does let me get some work done when I'm on the plane.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I'm
Stanley
back to the
decided
beginning.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want to...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Yeah, highly recommend a Nintendo Switch for air travel.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Did I go to the door on the left the last time, or did I go to the door on the right? I don't remember. I'll go left this time.
Yet there was not a single
When
person here
I flew the
either.
last time over
Feeling a
there,
wave of disbelief,
Super Mario
Stanley
Wonder,
decided to go up
actually
to his
not there,
boss's
to
office,
Australia.
hoping he might find an
Super
answer
Mario
there.
Wonder had just come out, and so I played that basically, not the whole way. Not the whole way there, but the whole way back.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That was great. I've got a feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. Is that a haiku? there something else I can do up here? Aha! We're gonna go... We're gonna take this elevator. Nice! I don't know if I should go up or down. The girl from Ipanema. Ha 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 ha! Did you hear that? The narrator's singing. He's going da 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 Stanley. God, that's too funny. Well, I went... I'm back where I started. What if I hit up? Stanley. Stanley. I have a feeling no matter how long I ride this elevator, I'm still gonna end up in the same place. What are these? Why are these so... Recommendations from Oversight Committee? Can I do something? The beige pages.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay. All right. Sorry, narrator. My bad. Call me New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Now, the arrow says down. What if I hit up? It won't, it didn't let me hit up. Uh-oh. I'm back down in the bowels.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't think I'm going to do that again.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ha, you can't jump. No, seriously,
The
I
door
disabled
behind
it.
him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
That's too funny. So
At
when
this
I get to
point,
the end,
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
did he really disable my ability to jump? No, he didn't. Is he gonna say something like, I lied to you about...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Can I get out of here? What if I don't want to accept my death?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
All right, I think I have
In a
had this
single
ending already.
visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I wonder what happens if you turn back.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
So is there
making
something in
life
here
the
I
same.
can do?
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay, so there's got to be something I can do in here to advance the story rather than just hitting escape and restarting it. The maintenance room. Office clock.
Stanley stood on the roof.
All right. There's got to be something I can interact with in here. There's no way this is just a dead end. Freedom ending. Countdown desk. Countdown to what? What's this counting down? Do I have to sit here? 45. I don't know if that does anything. Well, here's some big buttons. What are these? Zending levers. The trailers. We ran 4 teaser trailers. So it seems like... Does it not say in the sign? Vent 1, meeting room. Apartment timer. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's just counting down indefinitely. I mean, there was a... Oh. Stanley's office. What's this? All right. What about this?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Me and the narrator?
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit.
Oh,
There's
what
no
if I
other
don't
way to
push
beat
it?
This game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Because the last time she convinced me to quit. I'm back in my office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
All right, so I'm seeing if there's something else in the employee lounge.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
See, what if I don't? Yes.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Who's that?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who's she?
She's been waiting.
Well, is she in here? I'm in the loading dock. Uh-oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Are you kidding? Wait,
Oh,
what?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Oh,
They
man,
want to
that's
commit
cold.
Their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside.
What's that?
Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, my God. Good morning. Press N on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Not nice. What if I press... All right.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told
I
to
tried to
do.
push a button
Now
differently.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Did I, though?
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Watch TV.
First, he imagined
There's
that
no
one day while
TV.
at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press N to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere
That's
thought
the parable.
that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
P to prepare dinner. I thought...
As he wandered through this fantasy
Wait.
world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Wow,
Down
it's...
one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many
TM.
directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing
What
beyond
about the thing
hope
with the
that it would
baby?
never end, that he might always
I haven't
feel
found
this
anything with a
free.
baby.
Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love
But
her.
there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
I'm
The longer
I'm
he
slowly
spends here,
getting
the
back
more
into my
invested he
office.
gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
What if I do it?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
And to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And
Please
Stanley pushed a
die.
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
It's restarting again. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What does that say? All right, so there's got to be... They said something about a baby. I hate Mondays. Should I go into the new content door? What do you think? Sure.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Yeah. This must be part of the remaster.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
They're setting me up for...
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last,
Going
it's
up.
on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
How much you want to bet there's no new content?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Is that good? Was that literally...
Is that it?
Is that it?
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
All right, let's go this way. Back in the elevator.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new
I love
content,
this. This is
then I
great.
could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more.
Oh.
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market
Oh, I
for
love
no
this.
reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this?
Oh,
I'm
this is so
infuriated
great.
And I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them
Yes,
personally
send them a
accountable.
mean tweet.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Are we having a great
What
time?
do you say, friend?
Sure. Here we go. Wait. This is different. Narrator? Where'd the narrator go?
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Oh, great. It's Pennywise. Hello, Stanley. Would you like a balloon?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got
Yep.
me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Oh, wow.
Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back
It says
then,
The Last
video
of Us
games had
underneath it.
integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Good times. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. This is it is impossible to get this achievement. Nominee. So those are all the awards they got. The yawns have started, everybody.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every
Game ever created.
That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Well, I can go down. Memory zone maintenance. Person of the year. What's this?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Just
The
reading the
Stanley Parable
reviews.
is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers
Carpet
some of the most
textures.
enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
What opened? Oh, there it is. Greatest wealth.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh, great.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's being collected down here.
That's
Surely
awesome.
these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Probably not. Oh my god, this is too not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. the narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh, God, I am so tired, everybody. I love that. Oh, here's another one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
You're not preachy, per se.
It's actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Yeah, well, you open up reviews to the public.
Like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto.
Is that is this the skip button?
Yes, a skip button we shall have.
And if I...
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you... Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated.
I'm hitting it again.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
What?
Oh, Stanley, you're back.
I didn't hit the button, did I?
Oh, goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how
wow, the plants are dead.
Been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as...
What if I hit it again?
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been...
It's going to be like a year.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the...
I'm just going to keep hitting this button.
Where'd the narrator go? Did I break the game? What is that? I don't know what to...
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us.
Ugh.
It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up.
I'm actually going to sign off here in a couple minutes because I am zonked. I'm starting to drift off.
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
This is just a stick now. All right, so we're getting towards the apocalypse. But where's the narrator? Oh, wow. Nice. Got some light in here, at least. We're in the land of Stray. Sounds like there are monsters out there. Oh, geez, oh. The world has become a barren wasteland. I'm guessing I can just roam out here. All right, so I think I'm gonna sign off now. This was fun. I really enjoyed this. I'm glad I picked this up. It's a fun game. And let me check out my schedule and see what it looks like for the rest of the week. I think tomorrow I'm booked solid in the evening. Wednesday also booked in the evening. Thursday, I might be able to go Thursday, but I'll definitely go Friday. So yeah, so probably a couple of days before I can stream again, unless I stream really early. So anyway, love you all. Have yourselves a great rest of your evening. And I hope you enjoyed the Stanley Parable. I did. It was super fun. So we're just gonna bail out of here. And everybody have yourselves a great rest of your evening. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Good night, Herr Doctor.
Good night, Frau Blucher.